So is electroculture pseudoscience, or do we just not understand it? Anything that's natural and cheap is labeled as pseudoscience because big business cannot profit on it. And for electroculture, all you need is a stick from your backyard and some copper wire. And for a few dollars, you can make antennas for your garden that will boost your yields, increase the health of your plants, and prevent pests. But for some reason, people think it's pseudoscience because big business hasn't done a million plant study on it. And I'm just going to tell you, they're never going to do a large study on electroculture because it completely contradicts their methods, which are based on maximizing profit and no care for the environment or sustainability. Because with electroculture, you can actually grow more plants and have a bigger harvest with less issues. But because big agriculture is completely tied in with big oil. So all of the fertilizers that they're using are synthetic petroleum derived fertilizers. They have no use for electroculture. Anything that's simple, sustainable, and natural doesn't benefit them because they are completely tied in to big oil. So you could say, why wouldn't they use electroculture if it would benefit them? And if they actually cared about sustainability, yes, it would benefit them. But that is not even part of their consideration. They only consider the profits. And because they've been pushing that nutrient replacement theory, where if your soil is deficient in nitrogen or phosphorus, you have to add in synthetic versions of that nutrient, which is not how nature works. In reality, all you need to do is remineralize the soil with rock dust, manure, or compost. That's all you need. Everything you need to farm is already out in nature. And electroculture is no different. It's just copper. Copper is a mineral you find in the woods. And you might not be able to find wire in the woods, but you can just buy some copper wire and get a stick from your backyard. Make an antenna, stick it in the ground in your garden, and just watch how much it benefits your plants. And you could put dozens of them in your garden, depending on how big your garden is, or if you're a farmer, you can get a more specific antenna, like the one designed by Justin Christoflo, who was the one who wrote a book about electroculture. And he had so many different success stories, but he was shunned by, you guessed it, big agriculture. So anything that big agriculture says is an effort to benefit themselves and their methods. They think that if they convince farmers to just follow suit and do exactly what they're doing, it's okay. But what they're doing is not sustainable. And there's so many different layers to it because you'd think that electroculture would be widely accepted if it worked. And it does work if you've ever tried it, but it completely goes against everything that they're doing and their profit model. So the real solution that I think is to get rid of big agriculture. We need small local farms because then you remove the greed, you remove the big business, the lobbyists, the connected industries that are codependent on each other, like big oil, and you can have sustainable agriculture because large farms are not sustainable. And in order to actually grow food and profit on a large farm, you have to use unsustainable techniques. So we need more small local farms and farms that are willing to experiment and implement electroculture, Lakovsky coils, remineralization practices with local rock dust. It's really that simple. I think if we can just convince local farmers that You can be the standard. You don't have to use big agriculture as a standard because the only standard they care about is their bottom line. So I'm just going to say it. Big agriculture is pseudoscience. All their practices are based on fraudulent theories. They're directly tied into big oil and petroleum derived fertilizers, and nothing they do is sustainable. So we need to end big agriculture and have small farms in the community that are growing food with natural practices that are sustainable so we can fix our soil, grow more nutrient dense food, and feed the people. It's really that simple. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment. Have a great day.